the internet, and welcome to the home of the pandemic poets, the Monday night online open mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. Happy Monday, everyone. And I made an error. I played the wrong video, which had the wrong open mic list. Luckily, they're all uniform, so most people probably didn't catch it, thankfully. Those of you who are here on Zoom, make sure you open up the Zoom chat as I am putting in the new open mic list. Even the one that I emailed to you is not the right one because, like, as always, even though we make sure that the open mic list is now opening at 8 o'clock sharp on the dot. Everyone always wants to come and throw me curveballs, saying, wait, you got to take me off. It's my niece's quinceañera. My friend just did a poetry launch and I have to be there at it. No, so I put in the chat, open it up for those of you who are on Zoom. So let's take care of business so we can get right to it. This is the 8th edition of Volume 2 of the Monday Night Online Open Mic. We're already into number 8 of Season 2. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you want to see our past recordings of open mics or the recording of this open mic later on, check us out on Facebook and YouTube. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, you would like to join us, you'd see on the left-hand side of your screen the number to join us on Zoom, 279-995-364. We would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can help support us with a tax-deductible donation at www.nuyorican.org/contribute or to our Cash App, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Memorial Day. Today we are honoring Memorial Day. That is the theme. Next week is Kid You. I want to hear poems from the perspective of you as a kid. After that, it's International Flag Day. So I figured, rep your flag, whatever your flag is, whether it's real or it's fake, right? Like, I don't know, maybe you're into Game of Thrones and you chose a certain house or Harry Potter, whatever it is, do what you want. As you can see, for the next 8 weeks ahead of time, I'm giving you what the theme is going to be so you can get ahead of it. All of that can be found on my social media. I am on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. That's where the highlights are. Every week I've been on point with it. Every Monday morning we're putting the highlights up from past open mics. All of that, you look up Advocate of Words. And when you spell words, that is with a Z. Last but not least, poets, turn your camera on. This is an open mic. We want to see your beautiful faces and your beautiful expressions and all that stuff. Have your poem ready. We have a lot of people who signed up. We like to get to our waiting list. So please have your poem ready before I call you. You have 4 minutes to perform. No epic poems. Please be considerate. Like I said, we have a lot of people on the open mic list, and it's difficult just to get on the list. We want to get to as many people as possible. Be warned, put the kids to bed. There is no censorship here. I have no idea what people are going to say. Unmute yourself after the poet performs the poem. You'll see the host is going to ask you to unmute yourself and make some noise. It'll be like we're actually in an open mic cafe. People like to hear that stuff. Stick to the theme, but you don't have to. We have a theme every week. Those who write to the theme get to put into the highlights, and we like to have the theme to see everyone's different perspective from it. But you do not have to write on the theme to participate. Many people don't every week. About 50% of the people do, so it's totally up to you. Thank you to Chris Lopez for getting the engine started for us, working behind the scenes. He was grilling out in his backyard. With that being said, let's get right into it, especially since I don't have my beard anymore. The only reason everyone's showing up now is to hear you poets. With that being said, let me unmute Nick Paleologos, who is going to kick it off with the Thundercat God in the background. Nick, let the people know where they can find you online. Now let's hear your poem, brother.
You can find me at The Real Nick P on IG. That's TheRealNickP. I got a feature coming up on June 5th. My show is June 2nd. I got another feature on the 13th and another feature on the 30th. I'm going to be very busy in the month of June. So let's just put it like that. Memorial Day. I decided to write about my grandpa. So, here we go. This one's called What's in Your Hand? I learned poker at a very young age. I was about 8. My grandpa used to play cards with his buddies. My grandma would watch. So would I. I got enamored. I never played as much. I always thought I didn't have a winning hand. You showed me that just because I have a 4 of hearts, 7 of spades, 9 of diamonds, jack of clubs, and ace of spades that I shouldn't fold. I can always bluff or get a better hand. Gambling runs in the family. So does toughness. My grandpa was built tough like a Ford. Fought in World War II, was a Navy man, apparently had 2 hernias, and still fought and still kicked Nazi ass. We lost you nearly 15 years ago. I still miss you, and it took the same time to finally say it in writing. I was always trying to come up with something for you, some quotable for you to run to heaven and tell the angels about. I could still hear your voice. Look at what my grandson did. Nikki, I'm proud of you. I write this with tears in my eyes and my emotions tattooed in my forearms like firearms brandished and firing on my command. I would have loved your opinion on what I should do. You know how to steer a ship, and you would have helped me steer my ship in the right direction. I think I could still navigate these seas. I just wish I had you by my side. You could compass my way through. You gave me more than I could ever give to you. Salute to you, soldier, my guardian angel, my grandpa. Your last hand might have been 2 aces and 2 eights, all black with a queen of clubs as a kicker. But I know you had the royal flush luck of getting up to the heavens. I know my hand is worth a royal flush, even though I don't have an ace to my name. I love you, Grandpa. I'll see you again one day. Thank y'all.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to the real Nick P.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're here again.
Nick Paleologos. You can find him online at the real Nick P. Love him. And apparently there was an impromptu Monday night online open mic get together. I got the message at the last second. I think Nick Paleologos did too, but he wound up showing up. So shout out to him, man. How y'all gonna get together without me? All right, we gotta move forward. I'm gonna fall apart. Trisha De Jesus is next. Let me unmute her. And Trisha has finally invited me to be part of one of her projects. I'm not going to get into it. She's been doing it for a while, and I've been bigging her up. Finally, she reached out to me. With that being said, Trisha, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your beautiful poetry.
Well, first of all, I will let you know where you can find me online. It's Instagram at Finn_Bell, PHYNNE_BELLE. But I want to do something unusual. And if I'm correct, and I was paying attention all this time, I would like to give my spot away, but I'd like to give my spot away to somebody who's actually on the guaranteed list. I just want to move them up. So I noticed there's somebody possibly new named Carlos Jimenez. Is that correct?
Yes, he got moved into the guaranteed list.
Okay, I'd like to give him my spot, my early spot.
All right, let me see. Is Carlos here?
I think so.
Where is he? Gee, hey.
Let's see.
I don't see him. See, people get on the waiting list.
Here.
Oh, wait. Oh, Andy's saying no, he's there. Carlos Jimenez Jr. Great Scott. We have a pleasant gesture from Trisha De Jesus. Thank you, Trisha. Let me unmute Carlos Jimenez. Carlos, where are you located, brother? Yes, I can hear you. Where are you located?
Cool. I'm in Brooklyn right now. I'm actually in front of the library. I was going later, so I was gonna walk home, but I'll go right now.
Awesome. So this is how it's done, Carlos. You let the people know where they can follow you online, unless you're in the witness protection program, then don't tell us anything. And then after that, you got 4 minutes to share your poetry. Go ahead, brother.
Cool. My name is Carlos. My handles on Instagram is Carlos Can't Dance. And if you can all still hear me, can you still hear me now? Do I get any feedback now? Is there a mute or something?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Just making sure because I'm on my phone. Well, I have one here. And it's not on theme, but I wrote it during the quarantine. It's called "It's Valentine's Day and I Have to Fart." It's Valentine's Day morning and I have to fart. A friend of a good friend gets out of my bed and is getting ready to go to work. He's tiptoeing around the apartment so he doesn't wake me. I can tell how sweet he is by how slowly he opens the faucet so the water pressure won't be too loud. The faucet squeaks, the floorboards creak, and the vinyl of his Tommy windbreaker shuffles. I have to fart. Delight. But I only just met him last night. In therapy, I recently proclaimed I would stop lying, and I would be more mindful of when I feel the impulse to lie and why. I'm holding my fart in a way that's very literal, actually holding this ball of air or gas or negative space. I assess the situation. 1, I am afraid he will think I am gross. 2, I think he is the type of person who will think it is gross that a sleeping man farted once. When I say that, it sounds ridiculous. So I decide to fart because he's always been sweet. So sweet how slowly the faucet creaked. The worst thing that could happen is that he will find my fart endearing and my seemingly unconscious vulnerability disarming. So I fart, and it wasn't loud enough to hear, and I was disappointed. That's my poem.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for Carlos.
Yes, Carlos.
I loved it, man. I loved it.
Well done.
Oh, Brad.
Perfect.
Oh, Brad.
Perfect.
Carlos Jimenez. He was polite for a while, and at the end, he wasn't. I love, artists aren't supposed to be polite. Carlos, thank you for coming by. Do not be a stranger. I love it. I love it. Make sure you also put your information into the Zoom chat. Poets, after you perform, make sure you check the chat. People are saying nice things about you while you're performing your poem. So again, Carlos, make sure you put your info in the chat so people can copy and paste it, because we are human beings. We are lazy, and most people have already forgotten what you said about where they can find you on social media. That was Carlos Jimenez, his first time on the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and now we are moving to a mainstay of the Monday Night Online Open Mic, my wingman, who was also recently 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was in the newspapers, and I believe the story he was in got like over 1 million hits. He's a celebrity now, and that is DG
pretty
Clearing.
exciting. Advocate, so nice to be here. Thank you, veterans, for serving. Thank you for everybody who has given the sacrifice. This is each of them. Each of them. They will never be heard again. The voices from the fallen soldiers are warriors. Only the echoes of their sacrifice will drift in the air of our democracy, never to be forgotten. Each of them is part of your freedom. Draped in the red, white, and blue, they are the stars in the flag against the blue field of vigilance and justice. They are the white stripes in the heavens with their purity and innocence. They are honored for their valor and bravery with the red stripes of Old Glory. In their memory, the flag is folded 12 times. Thanks and praise for their days. As the bugler plays taps, all are remembered with respect and honor. 24 notes to commemorate the fallen. The first 3 mean day is done. Soldiers salute from the first to the last note played. A wreath is placed in memory of their sacrifice. From their rifles, 3 volleys are fired for honor, duty, and country. The fallen have been taken care of, removed from battle and remembered. 3 bullet casings slipped into the folded flag and presented to the family. All is well. Safely rest. Day is done. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for DG Clear.
DG, dope, DG, dope, man. Dope.
Thank you. Always have the right thing to
Everybody.
say.
Yes,
Speech.
so
Thank you.
beautiful.
DG clearing the mainstay here in the Monday night online open mic, giving us some facts, man. Make sure that you check out the chat. You were schooling a bunch of people. Look out, Professor Tessa Somok. We got a new teacher in the building, DG clearing. Next coming up, another mainstay at the Monday night online open mic. And I believe she is going to be hosting her own open mic shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Deadpan Lizzie, Elizabeth Strauss. Deadpan Lizzie, let the people know where they can find you online. Now let's hear your beautiful words.
Good to see everyone. I know I've been MIA for a minute. You can find me on Instagram, mostly ES_Strauss, and I'll drop in the chat when I'm finished. I am going to be co-hosting at Fincabulary Thursday, 7 Pacific time. So please join us and share and show your pride, because in a few hours, it'll be Pride Month. I have 2 poems tonight, one for last week's prompt because I was MIA, and one for this week's, but I'll start with last week's. The first one is called Transparency. She changes more than a chameleon changes their colors. She is cliche, dry New York, maybe a future wine line. She is strong, she cares, she is unafraid to show when she is angry, a fiery water sign, of course. The universe properly aligned with her during conception. Nothing wrong with that. She is unlikable. She does not care. She is not fake, no matter what the haters say. She is her own unique blend, as she should be. She is transparent. And for this week's prompt, it's called Carrying the Torches. And thank you to everyone who has served in the military. Thank you. We appreciate your service. We pay our respects in our tears, in the way we walk down the concrete streets, emulating their traits, the speed of their gaits, the art we permanently wear on our sleeves, the pair of earrings they wore 24/7 we thought was so old-fashioned, that we refuse to take out even if it clashes with our outfits, an old college shirt with more holes than Swiss cheese, a scent catching us off guard, triggering all our senses, the inside jokes, the way we talk, and our private memories, excuse me. Their memories are a blessing. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Elizabeth Strauss.
Yes.
Lizzie.
Yes.
Yes.
Pieces, yes. Congrats on hosting.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Welcome.
That phone call meant that she just sold another apartment. She's also in real estate, so make sure you go and look up Elizabeth Strauss. You get some poetry, you get some apartments. Go do it. She is also the god beanie of the Beanie Mafia, all right? And if you don't know what that means, you need to come around more often. We got some wonderful characters here in our community. Make sure you go look her up, Elizabeth Strauss. And make sure on Thursday you go check her out while she's hosting. So awesome. A lot of you I know are starting to get into hosting and wanting to do more. I love to see the community grow. Next up, Michael Sindler. And I'm so mad that I did not showcase the new video, because in the updated video, Michael Sindler is in one of the first pictures that you see. And I got him with his beanie on too, man. So I'm sorry I missed that. Nonetheless,
you were like all about me and hats. I'd rather be in the beanie than the one with the wolf hat. So that would be a step up at any rate.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I got you.
Wolf hat. I don't know, man. But I just want to say right up, like, people can hate the military-industrial complex. You can hate all the politicians that send people to war, but that's a whole different thing. To honor the people who have served, that's something that needs to be done. So that being said, I'm in the middle of trying to write something for my uncle, because it's like, lots of people in my family have served. I didn't, but lots of people have. But my uncle, he landed on Normandy Beach and just rolled all the way through. So this is a start of something for him. And if I get time, I'll read a couple other little things. Son of immigrant sails back through dark sea towards bleak beachhead, lit up by flaring metal bursts into black smoke, red blood chaos, disembarks olive drab arc, surge into near certain demise, closest compatriots fall at feet, inexplicably surviving, stumbling over bloated, exploded corpses, dull hum and echo, artillery, first steps through sand on the long march, battle after battle towards the bulge. So, that's just a rough draft at best. So I'm going to do just a couple more real quick little things, some triolets. This one's called Survivors. We're all survivors till we're not, hanging on by a slender thread. We find in time that we are caught. We're all survivors till we're not. Unanswered prayers on wings of thought, like dying flies stuck to a web. We're all survivors till we're not, hanging on by a slender thread. And I'm going to do one more triolet, and this is called Farewell to Earth. With every mile, I miss you more, the space I will not see again. You contain all that I adore, your liquid face, your molten core. With every mile, I miss you more. Within my heart, I feel you spin. With every mile, I miss you more, the space I will not see again. Okay, thank you, and thanks to everybody who served.
Wow.
All of those.
Beautiful.
That was
Well done,
awesome.
Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Thank you, Michael.
That was
And
beautiful,
That
Mike.
was so beautiful.
That was amazing.
So
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Michael Sindler. He asks me to remove the video. I gotta remove the video now. When you're that awesome, you gotta listen to it, right? Michael Sindler. Oh, Michael, lighthousewriters.org, right? Check out lighthousewriters.org. Michael, make sure you put that into the chat so that people go check it out. Michael's out in Denver, Colorado. He is in the witness protection program, so he is not online, but he likes to promote all of you law-abiding citizens who have not witnessed a crime. He likes to promote it, lighthousewriters.org. Next up is Jeff Cottrell. Where is he? There he is. I can tell because I looked for the pink blanket. Let me unmute Jeff. Jeff, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your beautiful poetry.
All right, find me at jeffcottrell.com and Facebook and Twitter. And here's a piece that probably would have been better for last week's theme, but who cares now? It's called Dear Facebook Troll. Dear Facebook Troll. So, you say I'm a shite poet. You think I'm some pathetic, hacky Kenny Banya-like comic who ran screaming to spoken word when his stand-up career didn't pan out. And you say my Facebook posts are tiresome, faux edgy rants that are trying way too hard to shock. After playing the spoken word game for more than 20 years, I assure you I've heard worse. And I'm not even going to waste my time disagreeing with you. I know this is all subjective. I know that your honest opinion of me is none of my business, but there's a pattern I've noticed in your cheap, lazy, bitter social media snipes. I've noticed that anytime a poem or a writer that you think is bad is being published online somewhere, that's when you launch one of your little half-assed smear campaigns on the old Facebook, straining desperately to condemn said poet to social pariah status for being a fraud or an imposter or worse, while egging your virtual clique to join the pile-on. And when your target dares to unfriend you, you laugh and say, well, I guess he just can't handle criticism. Two things. One, when somebody unfriends or blocks you because you're being a douchebag, that ain't the checkmate mic drop victory point you think it is. Two, When you devote this much of your precious time and energy to pissing on the parades of poets who are just starting to enjoy some small smattering of success, that doesn't smack of constructive criticism. That reeks of jealousy. But I have a proposal for you, dear Facebook troll. If you choose to take me up on this offer, you may reap rewards far more satisfying than the mean-spirited adrenaline rush you get from being a grade school bully behind a keyboard. Here's my challenge for you. Are you ready? I want you to beat us at our own game. I want you to give us a reason to be jealous of you. I want you to write poetry so good that we can't make any illegitimate complaints about it, to show us how to do it right with your example alone. I want you to get published in journals and anthologies too prestigious for our vainest dreams. I want you to land reading gigs around the world, from national slams to major international authors festivals. I want you to make metaphors that will change the way we see life, death, and everything in between. I want you to craft verse so beautiful and universal and timeless that college English students will be picking it apart 100 years from now and loving it. I want you to change the way the rest of us write poetry and read it too. I want you to make poetry a mainstream form of entertainment that makes comic books and action movies and reality TV seem tame and obsolete. I want you to turn your spotlight away from our perceived flaws and onto your full poetic potential. That's what I want you to do, dear Facebook troll. That's my challenge for you. Isn't that a better way to own me and the rest of us? And when you start your ascent to those lofty heights of poetic credibility, maybe I'll cheer you on, and then maybe your criticism will carry some weight. But here's my question. If you love poetry as much as you profess, why aren't you chasing after these triumphs now? Why aren't you already on your way? Could it be that you just don't have the guts? Because if you don't have the guts to play this game the proper way, then maybe you should just click the Facebook tab off and shut the fuck up. That was called Dear Facebook Troll. New show.
Yes!
Go,
Come on, Jess!
Yes,
Just
Oh my God!
Shut the
Yes!
fuck up.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Jeff Cottrell is about to start a freaking riot. Make sure that you check him out, jeffcottrell.com. When you spell Cottrell, that is with 2 L's at the end. And make sure to find him online and harass him and try to get a photo, a autograph from the Pink Blanket, because that's what we're here for. Jeff Cottrell, love that dude. Always bringing the energy up. All right, Ed Poetastic, you are next, so get ready. Before we do that, because some people came late, you were checking out the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. Hosted by me, Advocate of Words. You can find me online and all the social medias at Advocate of Words. When you spell words, that is with a Z, because you know, poetic license, I'm from the Bronx. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to see tonight's recording or our past shows, you can go look us up on Facebook and YouTube. That's where it is. If you are watching us right now from Facebook or YouTube and you would like to join us on Zoom, the number is on the left-hand side of the screen. 279-995-364. Tonight's open mic list is closed. It usually closes within 3 minutes. It used to be a minute. Now it takes 3 minutes. So I don't know, man. I'm doing like a third bad, right? Whatever, we'll move forward. The sign up begins 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Visit neweurekan.org. Then you click full events calendar. When you do that, you click on the Monday you were signing up for. So next week is going to be June 7th. So next Sunday, you would click on June 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, and you would order an artist RSVP ticket. That is the only way you get to be placed on the open mic list. The first 25 to sign up are guaranteed a spot. The next 10 are put on our waiting list. So Aram just got here. I'm going to let her settle in, and we're going to move on to Ed Poetastic. Then we're going to go to Aram. Oh, wait. I saw Ed. Where is Ed? Did Ed turn his video off? Did he bail out on us? Where is Ed? I don't see him. All right, Aram is ready. So we're gonna go with Aram and then look for Ed. Let me unmute her. I heard that she had some technical difficulties getting in here. Oh, there's Eric G. Eric G showed up to one of our shows, was put in the highlight reel, and then he didn't show up anymore. And we saw him on Thursdays. Good to see you, Eric. Aram, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your poetry.
Hi, you can find me at Midnight Free Spirit on Instagram. And yeah, my name is Ram. Let's see. I have a poem that's not Memorial Day themed, but I am just gonna share it. So compost me, because that crazy maniac that you are is also a genius. Make me your most beautiful pain into honey. Solve for your wounds. Make me into mulch that you use as footing under your feet to lift you out of the tunnel of shame and remorse that you've clawed for yourself. And know that there will be that moment of lightning inside of you when you know that you can pick up all the remnants of broken memories in your glass menagerie of me and put them in a box that you'll carry with you into flames of becoming. And as you climb, make sure you feel the dirt cake into your long nails. Savor the taste of every particle you touch as you touch yourself in the deepest way possible, and realize that the depth of pain is just pleasure. Use the burnt roots of everything that suffers you into believing that the stabbing of your perfectly beating heart with 3 precise blades was never actually a solution to it all. No, please no, oh my God, no. It's the exact opposite, in fact. Slice open clean like a surgeon that beautifully crafted illusion your pretty mess of a head has constructed. Because you're the stars bursting onto the earth from 14 feet above infinity. You are a blanket of ice shaped into a god, and you are always there in every inch of your glory, in every sway of your effortless flow. You are breath on legs, and what beautiful legs they are. You are the stuff dreams are made of, and that double rainbow that you fantasize about actually exists inside of you. So please stay. Stay so that you're glorious. Ooh, sorry, my internet connection went. Stay so that your glorious smile can echo into the ether where every particle of wind can carry its soft scent till the end of time. Cherry blossom in the dead of winter. I know you're there. I know you can hear me. Don't forget that pink is the solution to the aches and pains of not believing in miracles. That's it.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Aram.
Yes!
So fucking beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Amazing.
That
Oh my goodness.
solution. Yes. Yes.
Yes, Aram. I'm so happy that Aram is addicted to us now. She is rather new to us, but she is addicted. Loving her work. Aram, make sure you put your information in the chat so that people can follow. And although she said her internet connection messed up, it didn't mess up for us. We saw her, but it worked, right? I was like, this is a beautiful pregnant pause. Like she's getting caught up in her words and stay. What's the answer? Oh, I loved it. It worked out. Make sure you go rewatch it, Aram. All right. Next coming up, we've got Ed Poetastic, but I don't see him. So we're going to Sam Park. And Sam Park apparently had open crib this weekend and people went and hung out, but I found out late, so I couldn't play hooky and go do all the naughty things they did. Sam, let the people know where they can find you online. And let's hear that fire.
Word. You are always welcome. First of all, it's so good to be back. I also just wanted to let y'all know that Zaddy Beats is moving to a new place of residency on Instagram called @Pam.Sark. That's PAM Sark SARK. I've got 2 poems for y'all today. All right. A phoenix does not return to the ash it rises from. Generational trauma. White academia, counterpointed hymns, and European ancestry claiming holiness from old Macedonia, as if faith of most importance was founded there and not stolen from lands now in cultural anemia. I read the books. I acclimated to the rules. I cast my blood out and let their destruction pool into my veins until I became their fool, but I did not take their cruelty. Instead, I used it as fuel to burn down their expectations and dig for a more precious jewel. Rubble is rubble, no matter how it burned, and what it was before is a needless concern, as transformation is a cocktail of courage and spite to make generations of debts right and learned, because in order to make a phoenix rise from ash, it must refuse to return. Right. And before I read the second one, I almost forgot, but I have a book club. The next one is going to be on June 6th at 2 p.m. EST. I'll put all the information in the chat, but this month we're reading Braiding Sweetgrass. Without further ado, I have the second poem. All right. The Gardener. I breathe, I sing, I need, I bring fruits of my labor to indulge with you. I serenaded them and sang until they bloomed. I pulled at the weeds, saved the dandelions too, so as to give my all to you. I dug, I raked, I watered, I staked a beam to support your growth, your sake. It tilt, it bent, but never did shake. Your need I nourished, no matter the quake. I did it all, and I took breaks. I trimmed, I rained, I quenched your roots. I waited with patience to harvest ripe fruit. You blossomed, you embraced and traced the sun. My cheeks, petals strung across my smile sprung. You breathed spring into my heart and lungs. I grow with you while we're still young, as long as there still is the sun, as long as there still is the sun, as long as there still is the sun. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for
Yes!
Sam.
Yes! That was awesome.
Such great delivery. Just fantastic. Great job, Sam.
We're not supposed to like her. She had a party and I wasn't there. Guys are supposed to be on my side. Sam Park. No, it's Sark period Pam, right? That's what it is. I'm dyslexic, so you're messing with my you messing with my vibe right there. Sark.Pam, that's where you can find Sam Park. Make sure you go check her out. She a DJ of sorts. She's just not an ill poet. She also a DJ. Shout out to did I freeze? No. Shout out to Poet with Guitar. I don't know who that is. First time seeing him. Shout out to him then. Letting you know that I'm recognizing people in the audience. Also, Marissa Prada is in the audience, even though she is not signed up. I love when everyone comes through. And I know that Idionga right now is cooking dinner while checking this out. Shout out to Luis Santiago on Facebook. I see y'all. All right. I can't keep mentioning everyone. Ed Poetastic still hasn't come in. I think he's having technical difficulties. So we are going to Propaganda Poet, who he looked real smooth last week. He was at the airport. He's like, yo, let me give y'all my poem real quick before I go get out. You know, I'm like that. Propaganda Poet, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your poetry, brother.
Man, you know I can't miss a Monday night, man. At least I gotta like jockey in for position for that year too, like be invited, you know. So my info is there in the chat. Tonight, however, I do not come to you as a spoken word poet. Tonight, I come to you as Oso Lobo, my musician persona. And tonight, I would like to do a Memorial Day ode to the working poor as they slowly die along with the American dream, and much mad respect to all of my fellow veterans, especially those who have fallen because they were misused by our military-industrial complex. And this song is for all of us and all of them. As soon as you're born, they make you feel small by giving you no time instead of it all. Till the pain is so big you feel nothing, nothing at all. They hurt you at home and they hit you at school. And they hate when you're clever and they despise a fool. Till you're so fucking crazy you can't follow their rules. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. They've tortured and scared you for 20 odd years, and then they expect you to pick a career, but you can't fully function, you're so full of fear. They keep you drugged with religion and sex and TV, and you think you're so clever and classless and free, but you're still fucking peasants as far as they see. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. But don't you worry, there is room at the top, they are telling you still. But first you must learn how to smile as you kill, if you want to be the king of the hill. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something to be. A working class hero is something. If you want to be a hero, then don't follow me. Thank you all for listening. Happy Memorial Day to everyone.
Propaganda.
I hope that get through a year without what we had to put up with this.
Be a hero, but don't follow me.
This is amazing, man.
Fire.
Talent right there. Talent.
No, propaganda.
Propaganda poet. Now let's all be honest with ourselves. Those of us who have been here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic for a while, we've been waiting from propaganda poet, right? No one's surprised. We've been waiting for him to break out some like guitar and go like all growl on us. I haven't said anything, but I'm like, I know he's got it in him, and he brought it. Propaganda poet. You check him out on Facebook at Bear Wolf. Ed Poetastic, are you there, man? I know he's been having technical difficulties. I see his name, but his video's not on. I'm trying to unmute him. It's not working. Oh, wait, there he is. Let me unmute him. Nope, he just froze. Ed Poetastic is on the open mic list, but oh, there it goes. I hear him. Is it working?
You can hear me?
You're coming in and out.
Oh, my bad. I'm having technical difficulties with my computer. Can you still hear me? If not, I can switch over to my phone.
Yeah, switch over to the phone and I'll come back to you because you're coming in and out. I want to make sure everything is clear, okay?
Oh, okay. Thanks, bro.
All right. So we're going to hear from Ed in a little bit. Let me make sure I mute everyone. Okay, so we're going to get to Ron Mark Thompson now. And Ron, he's got his hands in a bunch of cookie jars. And I know that he has Diane Ward doing a workshop for him. But Mr. Ron Mark Thompson, let the people know where they can find you and all this stuff that I'm hinting at. And then let's hear your beautiful poetry, brother.
Thank you for the hint. Yes, Diane, I mean, I've been going through some mental and physical pain, but Diane, she would not allow me to cancel the workshop. You know, we're going to keep going every month. So I put it in the chat. You can find me personally at Ron Mark Thompson or my Bronx Art and Fun Hub. This Thursday free program, you can sign up to get your Zoom info. And it's before the New Rican Poets Cafe online open mic and before Fincapulary's Pride Month open mic. So no excuse if you can make it. But on a different note, time flies. I remember 1 year ago on Memorial Day, here we were in Zoom, you know, that 2.5 months into the pandemic, the first major holiday, and we were still going on with open mic. So thank you, Advocate. Thank you, New Rican Poets Cafe, for keep hosting the open mics each and every week. Trust me, it saves so much lives. It saves minds. You know, I really have to say that. All right, I'm going to do 2 short poems. The second one is to last week's theme, They Said About Me. It's a little bit lighter. The first one is about today, Memorial Day. It's a little bit darker. Trigger warning, you may not like it, especially if you're an anti-vaxxer. It's my opinion. That's how I feel. Sorry, that's all I can say. So here we go. Today on Memorial Day, we're honoring and mourning the fallen soldiers from past wars. I will also honor those who have fallen in our most recent war since last year, humanity's fight against the COVID virus. I will mourn those of my friends, family members, and strangers who, despite having protected and socially distanced themselves, through no fault of their own, fell victim to this enemy and didn't survive. They fought evil as best as they could, but the enemy was stronger. I have honored them with trying my own best to stay distant and wearing masks everywhere. And I have fully honored them with already getting vaccinated twice. I will not honor those who have fought our struggles, resisted wearing face masks, and refused to join our immunization efforts. For whatever reason you give, saying that science hasn't yet proven the virus is real or the vaccine actually works, or better, when you say that it's your body, your choice, your freedom, I will then remind you of your hypocrisy the next time you tell our women that they cannot have a choice for what's growing inside their bellies. I will then celebrate in a month on July 4th with those who have honored the others with me. If you didn't fight with us and didn't get invited, you can still get your invitation by getting the shot in your arm with that needle. We even are currently using our tax money to give you incentives such as free lottery tickets and free metro cards and free scholarships. Damn, I'm so dumb. Had I known that, I surely would have waited a few more weeks to get those for myself. So today I'm honoring all those who didn't survive. I will remember you and mourn and honor you on every Memorial Day from now on. You gave your best. You did not rest. You held on till your last breath. You literally fought until your death. Thank you for your service and attitude. We will forever give you our gratitude. That's the end of the first poem. And here comes the second and last one. They said about me that I would cross the big ocean in all glory, back and forth, breaking new record speeds, making it to New York City past any icebergs, no matter how small or big. They were wrong. Hi, my name is the Titanic. They said British music would never make it across the ocean and gather any fan following, especially not a boy band. Well, they were wrong. Hi, our names is the Beatles. They said a woman would never be smart or able to lead any country anywhere in the world. Men are so much better suited for that. You guessed it, they were again wrong. Hi, our names are Margaret Thatcher, Angela Merkel, Jacinda Ardern, Erna Solberg, and many, many, many more. Well, except in the United States. Go figure. They said a kitchen sink sponge would never be square or wear pants or enlighten children, giving them entertainment for hours while earning millions of dollars. You guessed they were wrong, and you know who I am with my human name, Bob. They said a failed businessman, 3 times married, having gone through multiple bankruptcies, could never be successful to run the country from the White House and get away with everything. Well, you guessed it. Again, they were wrong. Hi, my name is Donald Trump. Lastly, they said about me that I would never amount to anything, would never write, perform in open mics, or be featured in anthologies. Thank God they were wrong about that as well. Hello, good evening. My name is Ron Mark Trankler Thompson, or short, RMT. The end.
Unmute yourselves and give some
More to come from you, Ron.
This guy right here. This guy.
All good.
Ron Mark Thompson, make sure you give him a follow as he hosts his well, he's passing it off right now because he's not feeling well. I hope you feel better, Ron. We're thinking about you. But Diane Ward is going to be hosting it, and Diane is all kinds of awesome. So make sure you give him a follow. Ron always coming through, trying to lift the energy. So now we're going to try Ed Poetastic one more time. There we go. Oh, I hear him and see him. Ed, let the people know where they can find you online, then get into it, brother.
Sure, no problem, bro. Thank you for hosting me. You are a poetastic host that we love the most, that deserves a toast, that doesn't post, that goes to coast. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, you can find me at Eddie Foreman on Facebook, and you can find me at Ed Foreman 92 on IGN. And I'm having a feature on June 18th at the Mitch Salon. So if you want to come, please. I can't wait to give you my poetastic, poetic, and poetic rhymes. All right. I want to thank all the soldiers for what they've done, and keep signing your patriotic sons. Okay, this is not mine, but this is a beautiful piece. It's called Decoration Day by Evelyn Steen. See the soldiers, little ones, hark the drummers beat, see them with their flags and guns, marching down the street. Tainted flags from out the wars. Let us follow these. To little stripes and stars twinkling through the trees. Watch them waving through the grass where the heroes sleep. Feeling gentle, let us pass on the day we keep. Let us bring our blossoms to all of our gardens grow. Lilies, honey, sweet dew, as the lilies snow. Every posy of the May, every bloom stem, every bud that breaks today, gather now for them. Lay the lilies o'er them thus, lovely for so, down they laid their lives for us, long and long ago. Heap above them bud and broad, softly eerie we cease. God, we pray thee gentle now, fold them in thy peace. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Ed Poetastic.
Yes.
Eddie?
Definitely
Nice, Eddie.
fantastic, brother.
Nice,
No
man.
doubt about that.
Nice.
Delicious.
Ed Poetastic always coming in with the high energy and then the freestyle in the beginning. I appreciate it, man. I grew up in hip hop. That's where I started my writing journey. So I always appreciate that. Next coming up is Mary Blenderman. Let me unmute Mary. Mary was featured in our highlight reel that was posted this morning, but she doesn't have social media, so she doesn't even know, unless maybe she's sneak following. Just say you're sneak following me on the low. Mary, let the people know where they can find you, your website, and then let's hear your poetry.
Sometimes I try and sneak and look at people's Instagrams, but they keep changing the rules. So like sometimes you can see it if you have Instagram and sometimes you can't. I don't know. But thanks for putting me in there. I appreciate it. You can contact me through my website at maryblenderman.com. It's in the chat. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all who served. I wrote about something a little different, sort of a memorial. I went camping a few weekends ago and got to see a furnace that was built in like the 1830s. and is still there, but like in the middle of the woods, just by itself. So that's what I wrote about. This is called At Henry Clay Furnace. And before I read, please join me in taking a deep breath in and out. I hope when I die, I become this furnace. If I labor all my life and my labor is sent down river and poured into a foundation I never see, I hope I become a cold chimney, not a memorial to industry, but a sober remnant of its avarice which abandons the non-productive, the non-useful. Meanwhile, the trees are reclaiming the useless, magnificent silence. I hope there is a grand role reversal in which the trees climb me, clinging to the cracks between my quarry stone ribs, pressing the fingers of their roots into the edifice, finishing the mission of decay. The furnace reminds me that my body is small in the world of bodies, but if I became this mammoth monolith, I could be an island of floating trees, an alien vision, the opposite of a funeral pyre. The furnace, an apology for the trees, an argument for protecting what it once consumed. 4 tons of pig iron a day. I know my life will damage the world. Yet in the forest there is forgiveness in every shade of green. I hope I die useless. I hope the trees ravish me, ravage me, ransom me, an ecstasy of roots, a ruinous resurrection.
Come on, you give it up for Mary Blenderman.
Come on.
How
are you this good?
God.
Mary Blenderman, yes, how is she this good? We're gonna have to go check her out, maryblenderman.com. When you type in Mary Blenderman, Blenderman is spelled with 2 N's at the end, so make sure that you check her out. Shout out to Barbara Kilbler. That's the first time I'm seeing Barbara with us. She's active in the chat and giving energy to everyone. Thank you for checking this out, Barbara. I appreciate that. Next, coming up, we have Paul Skiff. We're going into the Skiff verse. Yes. Shout out to Emily Cordes, who is here. She was also at the hooky party that I did not get invited to. So, Paul Skiff. Let me unmute him. I'm loving his background. Paul, you know the deal. Let people know they can find you online, and let's hear that fire.
I'm just at paulskiff.com and on Instagram at skiffgram. I've been trying to put more stuff up there lately. This is an old poem, and I have to keep adding wars to it as it gets older. And praise to all the service people, past, present, and future. I avoided becoming one of you when they cut off the draft about a year before my number was going to be thrown in. You know, the only thing that persists as much as war is a mindless habit. I'm remembering all the men, mostly men, America. I'm remembering the penis count. I am remembering men with gifts of flowers. I'm remembering the Revolutionary War, where you never won one single battle, America, where General Washington got frustrated and bombed New York City because it was a Tory town. I am remembering the War of 1812, America, when you just wanted to act like colonizing Europeans you had run away from. I am remembering the Civil War when it was the railroad and telegraph versus the rebel yell. Yeah, Guess who won that one? I'm remembering the Spanish-American War when you figured out how to lie to the world about your motives, the Boxer Rebellion when you figured out how to steal World War One, when you figured out how to stay out of it until everyone was so weak there was no way we could lose World War II, when you figured out how to make big time profit Korea, when you figured out how to jingo might makes right, the Bay of Pigs when you were just, well, sue wee, Vietnam, when you forgot it all, Cambodia, when you became psychotic, Grenada, which was just a report of a war, America talks in its sleep, Panama, when you backstabbed your own puppet, the big Bush war in Iraq, the little Bush war in Iraq, America, a toy for idiot rich men. I don't have to remember the war in Afghanistan because, you know, it's the forever war. I'm remembering the wars you fought against yourself, America, the war on poverty. Let's not ask the family living out under the construction scaffold here next door, the 20,000 homeless children in New York City shelters, how that war on poverty went. I'm remembering the wars you fought against yourself, the war on crime, you know, it's still biting its own tail, that war on crime. How about your drug war, where the banks that lent all that money to the foreign countries who produced the drugs, so they had the CIA keep letting all the drugs keep coming in here, so all our money keeps going out to those debtor countries producing the drugs, so we're just paying off their bank loans with our own money. Who are the soldiers saved from having to wear ties and condoms, from having to play sports and own women? Why do we want to save the unborn from having to pay taxes? America robs itself. A country. Just listen to me a minute, okay? A country is not a thing that can remember. There is no such thing as a country that has a memory. Show me one. Show me one country's memories. Where are they? There's no such thing as a country's memories. If there is, it's a country's memory. If there is, it's a country's memory that has been pornographized sadness. It is the murderer with moral authority. If there is such a thing as a country that has memories, then it is a murderer country, because the only place such a country exists is at the grave sites of people it has destroyed, as so there will be their memory. Now, we're in a position here at this very moment where I know what you want. If we pretend we are in a war and you can trust only one of two things, I say there is no such thing as a country, or you will be remembered if you die. What you gonna choose? So forget there is a country, because it will forget you and only make everyone else remember with martial music, frivolous gestures, amounts of obscene sadness dumped from electric screens into your living room only 2 seconds after it happens, or played out over endlessly, because if everyone feels the failure, then we all share the blame. If we all share the blame, it will be easier to punish only the innocent by making them fight wars and use the memories of their deaths to make a country that will forget them, except for one day a year. Is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? I forget which one they used to start summer.
unmute yourselves. Give it up for Paul Skiff.
A wizard. Yeah. So
Wow.
what the
Damn.
man? Wizard. Always dropping the knowledge.
Wow, Paul.
Beautiful.
Paul Skiff.
Paul Skiff, an OG with the New Rican Poets Cafe. You can check him out, paulskiff.com. When you spell Skiff, that is with 2 Fs. Love having this dude on, man. He is just like his own energy, his own universe. That's why I say we're going to the Skiff verse. Make sure you check him out, paulskiff.com. Woo, loving it, loving it. Okay, let us keep moving forward. Next coming up is shout out to More Than. I don't know who they are, but that's their name on Zoom. Shout out to More Than checking this out. Her eyes lit up like, what? They saw me? Yeah, I saw you. Okay. Poetic Desire is next, and I'm already liking her background. You know the deal. Let us know where we can find you online, and let's hear your poetry.
All right, Facebook and Instagram, Poetic Desire, spelled with a K, 6-word memoirs, Poetic Pisces, and I'll be a feature June 5th, 9 p.m. on Poetic Heat with Mr. Speaker, so you can find me then and post in the chat. All right, so 3 years ago, my dad passed away, and so this was one of those poems I wrote for him, and he served in the military as well, so that's what I chose tonight. A final salute of peaceful rest. Laying there so peacefully, resting in your casket of sky blue shade, below the cover lays the inscription, going home, surrounded by your favorite birds. And in this realization, we know you've ascended in flight as the latest angel to journey in return to God's heavenly kingdom. Bouquets of red, white, and blue flowers garnish the light of your spirit as loving brother, beloved dad, and grandpa, titles of endearment to those who loved you most. Beside you rests the American flag, once waving in the winds of your military service, honoring your courage and sacrifice, a hat that reads USS Ranger, CV 61. The Navy ship you served on in your fight for our country's freedom. You never were one to dress up in fancy suits galore, so it only seemed befitting that for your final rest, you donned a comfy US Navy sweatshirt, for you earned the right to be buried in all your military glory. You look so peaceful with hands crossed over your belly, makes me chuckle quietly to myself, thinking, you must be trying to hold in a joke you're thinking of right now as you look down upon us from heaven. Your eyes are closed, though you can no longer see through your brownish red glasses, perched sweetly upon your face with a sly smirk, a sweet small grin. You have been aware that you will see once more, for even in the afterlife, your giving heart carries on to brighten the life of another who will use your donated eyes, perhaps share your vision, a witness to acts of kindness. Your smile now reaches the heavens above as you listen to all the ways we salute your love. We salute you, a military brother, a legacy of honor and pride. We salute you, a dearly loved family member, a legacy full of ancestral heirs. We salute you, the clown who brought smiles to all, a legacy full of encouragement and laughter. The poet who captured life to creatively design prose and verse, that which is the one tangible legacy you have left behind. And the ultimate display and representation of your true character and innermost thoughts. May all who gather here today be blessed in knowing you lived your life to the fullest way possible, a life which God granted you as his living angel of care and compassion. We hope we can each live lives just as memorable and honorable as yours. We hope we have made you proud. We hope you were listening to us from above through fond memories sweetly shared. We hope you knew during your life's earthly presence just how much you were admired and loved. We hope you knew you were our own hero, a hero who saved each of us in your own caring way. We hope your realization of appreciation wasn't just known by you on this final day, as we place the final rose, the final grain of dust, laying you down to slumber, side by side with your father, your last dying wish granted, to rest in peace and military glory on the grounds of your favorite resting place, the VA's Wood National Cemetery. Good night, and please remember all those who gave their lives for us, our country, our freedom. May they never be forgotten. Good night.
Ooh, unmute yourselves and let's give some love to Poetic Desire.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you
I was going to get emotional again, but it happened.
It's so nice that you have
Poetic Desire. Make sure that you give her a follow. That was a powerful poem, so touching with the salute and with the hat. And, you know, Poetic Desire, a lot of times she likes to come in with the naughty. So it's nice to see like a different side of her, right? Like to get like super serious and whatnot. And I love seeing that. I keep telling people like this open mic is like a comic book universe and everyone is like the star of like their own series, and we're getting to find out more and more about everyone as time goes on, and then we all come together for like this mashup on Mondays. I love it. Poetic Desire, make sure that you give her a follow. Next coming up is a woman who's going to try to tell you that she has been an MIA because of academics, but the thing is that she's got a new cutie pie on her arm. She's got a new girlfriend. She's got a little sparkle in her eye, and that's why she has been MIA, and that is Gigi. Gigi, let the people know where they can find you when you're not smooching with your girlfriend. And
You
then let's
can
hear your
find
poetry.
me at Arcadian-poetry.com or on Instagram at iron_resilience. And I promise you, my girlfriend makes me do my homework, so I'm still doing college classes. I'm doing both. It's okay. It's great. All right. So I have two poems today. The first one is called Not Your Memorial Day, and the second one is called Teaching Flags. I'm going to try to read the second one, but if I get teary-eyed, then we're just going to stop. All right. And this one goes out to my best friend. Not your Memorial Day. No, not your Memorial Day, but it could have been. But no, you came back home. At least your body did. I don't know if you're so lingered in delay on the flight back. No, not your Memorial Day. Though you wonder when you can mourn the life you had before you saw the red on the stripes of this star-spangled banner now binding you bedbound for days. You can't tell if it's from your injury or from your depression, while civilians light fireworks. Sounds like gunshots to set off your PTSD, celebrating the friends you don't get back. It's not your Memorial Day, but there are parts and pieces of you that won't ever return. So may you know today it's okay to mourn the parts of yourself. And the second one is called Teaching Flags. When did you realize the income of your neighborhood was not told in the condition of textbooks or squeaky desks? No, not club posters mounted on bricks, but rather if you had recruiters packed neatly in your lunchrooms preying on the brown and poor students, not a college recruiter in sight. Free college and health care glistened like a prize where the government tags you as property. When the system gives you two options, military or crime, because the education here is a privilege, food and water not a right. You can either fight a war in the streets or overseas while rich men play chess for your lives. If we offered free health care, suddenly young people would not be risking their lives in the hope of affording medication. Don't ask, don't tell, hoping to pray for top surgery. No, if we took care of our people, the military would lose its luster. I look at my students and hope that they don't see the threat that lays in their lunchroom. I want to teach students that have more than just these two options, who never become flags that lay on graves. Thank you.
Wow.
unmute yourselves and give it up for
That was
Gigi.
awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. So amazing.
Yes, Gigi.
Oh, Gigi.
Exactly what
Yes.
bitches
Way to
need
bring
to
it.
be striking for.
GG, a mainstay at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. GG, make sure you put your information into the chat so that people know where to follow you, even though at this point it's going to be pointless because, you know, summer love and you're going to be too busy for us now. I'm single, I'm a hater. Next coming up is the General Mr. Speaker. Where is Mr. Speaker? I saw him. Oh, there he is. Let me unmute this brother. He also got his hands in a bunch of cookie jars doing his own shows as well. Make sure you give him a follow. Mr. Speaker, let the people know where they can follow you. Then let's hear that fire.
Yeah, all things Mr. Speaker. And then I'll post in the chat what's going on this weekend. Shouts out to Nick, this poem. Blood on my uniform. Mama, mama, can't you see what the Army's done for me? Stood me up and dressed me down, marched me all over town, taught me right and showed me wrong, ran me singing Army songs. Hurry up and wait is what we do. Follow orders or you're through. Rain or shine, we never stop. Lost my hair in the barber shop, standing tall and looking good. Ought to be in Hollywood. Got my orders and I'm out the door, flying to settle a political score. The Army put me on a plane, calls me by my last name, put a rifle in my hand, sent me to a foreign land. We stand, we hold, and we fight. We always try to do what's right. I washed my friend's blood out my uniform by hand and watched as it hit the ground. Then I escorted his body back to his family and hometown. Dressed in my military best, with my head up, fighting back tears as I stepped off my flight. I was prepared to put his remains down as I faced his family and his wife. They asked me questions I could not answer, and they asked me why. Why their son, brother, friend, and husband was no longer alive. He earned this freedom we enjoy with his blood, sweat, and tears. For each other, we fought day and night through pain, confusion, and fear. He paid the ultimate price for freedom, and he gave his youth to his military team. He was underappreciated, poorly compensated, and inadequately resourced to an extreme. He was a remarkable soldier, an honorable man, and a great friend. He was reliable, dependable, and the best person in the world to cover your back, you know, your rear end. See, that's what he was doing. With me, we were on a voluntary secret mission when he lost his life. He succeeded in protecting me while I failed him. Now, how on earth was I going to explain that to his wife? He was a soldier, a father, a leader, and he made you feel like he was invincible. The fact is, friends, good friends, sisters and brothers sometimes die in this type of business. Service personnel sacrifice precious things, and we have shed many private tears. You really don't need to know what it's like to be a soldier. Just enjoy this freedom we secure. We can clean uniforms, vehicles, and all type of equipment that we are assigned. But baby, nobody has ever taught me how to wash the blood of my friend out of my mind. Mama, mama, can't you see what fighting wars has done to me? It cost us the best women and men. And if you survive, the war won't end. America, America, pray for me. Only God can cure PTSD. In peace.
Unmute yourself and get
Oh,
some energy.
Wow, powerful.
I love it.
Such a good
Condolences
one.
first and
That
foremost.
was telling us the truth.
Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you for the service and the
Thank you.
peace.
Mr. Speaker, you can check him out, MrSpeakerInc.com. When you spell ink, that is with INK.com, MrSpeakerInc.com. Mr. Speaker, are you going to be here at the end? Yes? Awesome. I would like you to read the Good Night Sweet Poet at the end. I'm going to send it to you. You're going to close out the night for us, brother. I appreciate you as always. MrSpeakerInc.com. Make sure you give him a follow. Next coming up is a woman I am highly attracted to, but I don't say it much because her husband will kill me. And that is Diane Ward. I love this woman. Let me unmute her. I'm trying to unmute you, Diane. Will you get a signal? I'm not sure. The video I have of Diane's coming in and out. So I'm not sure if she needs to reconnect. I'm trying to unmute her. This is so embarrassing. You know what it is? Her husband pulled the plug. He heard what I said, that I got my eye on her, and he pulled the plug. Nope, she's there. She's there. All right, Diane.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Go ahead, Diane.
What can I tell you? DG, unfortunately, I am well aware of the 12-folded flag, just earlier this month again. So I'd like to read this piece I wrote called Grace. A light that shone in spite of fear, a moment respite from anger or torture is grace. A breath, no, it is rather a chance to breathe in and out at one's leisure, is grace. Oh, sense and acknowledge the soft-winded sound of my lungs forcing air over my nostrils is mindfulness grace. Provoking, daring, and reminding me to aspire and seek grace. The moment of rest and reprieve, the sanctity of long friendships that test limits of patience because there are no limits with true friends, is grace. The bellows that soften when you are around, the safety one feels without a sound, knowing I want to stay within you and you around me is grace. Oh, the joy of clarity in the moment amongst confusion is grace. Grace, I want to keep and tether to your silent trust. Become fearless to new possibilities and acquire the sanctity of our future moments together. A moment of grace is finite and infinite. In my hopes, grace never leaves me, but seems to rest elsewhere sometimes. Grace is an aspiration that turns me into an inspiration. It fuels me towards you, I hope, with goodness. Grace is hypnotic, if I allow her, and I want to succumb to her. I hope she will bless me with her presence again soon. Thank you.
Unmute yourself to give it up for Diane Ward.
So beautiful, Diane.
Thank you for sharing that.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
See, we're sort of the
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane Ward, she is hosting for the Bronx Fun Hub, so make sure you go and check them out. And you see, go ahead, tell me you don't got a crush on Diane too. You don't care if she got a husband. Tell me you don't got a crush on her too. But I don't want her to get divorced, but if she gets divorced, first dibs, all right? I called it. Next coming up, representing the Bronx, we are going to Rise. Let me unmute Rise. Where are you, Rise?
Hey everyone.
There we go, Roz. Let the people know where they can find you through herbigbrowneyes.com. And then let's hear your poetry.
Yep, and on IG through Her Big Brown Eyes. This piece is called America Interrogated. One could only hope that once a soldier serves, they feel their voice was heard and their time valued, and that the remorse of survival doesn't hurt forever, as part of them never leaves the battlefields, and their memories, sometimes coupled with PTSD, forces them to dodge bullets that could only pierce through their conscience. Land of the free, supposedly. America, I hope you're truly grateful, because they aren't the only ones with license to kill. Many families torn, and Uncle Sam has more bodies than anyone in uniform. Land of the free, supposedly. America, I hope you're truly grateful. How many American flags over caskets does it take to realize that our soldiers are fighting to come home alive? I always had an issue with how the role was minimalized. When soldiers are being geared to survive, they call it basic training. Basic? Tell me, Uncle Sam, what the hell is basic about the victory of not coming home in a wooden box and a mother, sister, or daughter having to write a eulogy? Is a tombstone the only receipt that shows America may be the biggest bully? Land of the free, supposedly. America, I hope you're truly grateful, but from the looks of it, you're not. It's a shame that oftentimes we associate veterans with homelessness, lack of medical care, mental health issues that they may not have, that may not have been there if it wasn't for their commitment to this country. So tell me, America, are you truly grateful? I know I am. For your sacrifice and service, I always say thank you. End poem.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
Yeah,
Roz.
so true, Roz.
Yes,
All right.
Amazing,
Beautiful.
Roz.
Very true.
Yes.
That was fire.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for that.
And basically,
So good.
Through herbigbrowneyes.com is where you can find Roz. And it's funny, you know, because when I had set this up to like celebrate Memorial Day, there's a piece of me that was hesitant. And I had to really think about that. And I was hesitant because I really question my government, the United States government. I question what we ask of our military personnel, but I do appreciate our military personnel. And I'm starting to see like the community feels the same way. They're like, man, what are we asking these people to do? Thank you for doing it though, appreciate it. So also, if you look up the history of Memorial Day, there is some evidence to believe that it started by leaving flowers at the grave sites of those who fought in the Civil War for abolitionists. So, but I'm not a historian. You go look into that afterwards. So we are very much ahead of schedule. So I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't do, but I just want to give like, Mr. Tessa Somok is here, and he had suggested this to me a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to do a shout out to Mr. Tessa Somok, who's not even on the list, but he's checking this out. And I want to share with you the highlight reel from last week. Normally, I'm not going to do this, but I feel like doing it this time because, like I said, right now, we've got some extra time. All of this you can find on my Instagram and YouTube. Just look up Advocate of Word. So here is the highlight reel from last week.
They never talk about how a child of God could also be able to concoct sin. I live outside my names.
I've had lots of nicknames in my time.
More often than not.
I live in many definitions at once.
What they say about you is just a record skip.
Including the fucked up ones.
Word is, I'm every fucking kind of cheesy, un quesito, suavecito, hable muchito.
The not so nice.
Insecurity will destroy him so soon.
The not so right.
Too much me, not enough them. They said I wouldn't make it.
The not so good.
In the house I grew up in, the walls shouted, and I've been quiet ever since.
The not so ready.
I had so much potential.
Demons say you ain't healed enough.
but you got so much potential.
Always with the whole funk and nothing but the funk. They said I was a quiet riot.
Skiff, you got so much potential.
I don't really know what that means.
He was splendidly stupid. What happened to the adorable crybaby, easy target that made us all laugh?
Listen.
I don't take silence for granted.
They said you should be careful what you say.
I might spit fire.
Sound is movement, and to speak is to refuse to stand still and still.
Swimming through dead seas, trying to find life in wounded heavens.
They say you should be careful what you say.
Don't give me no shit about secrets.
I mean, I am really good at talking myself out of speaking up.
The fear.
Attacked.
The fear.
Senses still able to smell sweet.
Fear.
Moko moko.
Do not pretend you don't know that laughter.
And smoke these rumors, these lies, these truths.
Digging into ethos.
If I am still alive,
Anubis guiding my pen.
then I must have something to say.
They say I'm a problem.
Rejecting incomplete definitions.
But actually,
to rise whole and once again.
I'm just a poet.
Mighty.
It feels a lot better to be generous than conceited.
And that is the highlight reel from last week. If you want to see more of them, there's like 9 of them now. You can go onto my YouTube, look up Advocate of Words. I am doing it every week, so make sure you go and check it out. I'm not even being paid extra for it. I just love y'all that much. Okay, now we are going to Amelia. Amelia is an individual who kept signing up, but we haven't been able to get to her. She's either been on the waiting list, or when we called her, she's not here. And oh my God, she's not here again. Amelia, no, here she is. She just didn't turn her camera on. Are you there, Miss Amelia?
Yes.
There we are. Your video, is your video camera? Wait, it's there. It is. Hello, Amelia. I know you've signed up a couple of times. I'm so happy we were able to get you on now. So you've been watching it. You know the deal. Let the people know how they can follow you online, and then let's hear your poetry.
Well, I just want to say all love to all the soldiers of all wars. I don't really have any social media or anything like that. But peace. It's called hashtag this bitch part 1. Yes, I rep the West. Yep, I rep the East. Either way, either place, me, I'm just me. Low-key beast. Capiche? So pass some justice so we can have some peace. Please. Far from perfect. Plenty to work with, plenty worth it. Statistics rare as fuck. Hybrid ambulance and Brinks truck. Myriad imbalances and crazy luck. 10 cars in, 10 cars out. Driving out the window now? What the fuck? Me give up the wheel? Are you for real? They've only been plastic, man. I'm obviously solid steel. Trust, believe. If I made it this far, God is real. God is real. God is good. God is real. God has a plan. God's got the wheel. Baby, you've been through enough pain. Now give people something they can feel. 10 years here, 10 years there. La-dee-da, yeah. Born here, raised there. Main care, Medi-Cal, Medicaid. Never did see a doc, did not throw some type of shade. Dear, children get ear infections, you hear. Now roll over, How about a pap smear at 25 BK? Tell me that I'm fine. Walk straight out, no straight line, still. At ease, as I weave down the sidewalk, floating like leaves. And this type of shit happens every day. Fast forward 35 LA. I land at my PCP office with a swollen thumb. I could tell I need some antibiotics, and I'm a novice. Regardless, far as my sticking out sore thumb, he couldn't care less. All this fool wants to know is if I'm married, and why not? I come for medical attention, not for blowing up my spot. Why I'm not married? IDK, doc, are you dumb? Maybe because I'm crazy fine, and most find that kind of scary. My main conditions vary. Listen, all of these gaslit symptoms by yourself and others simply have not paired well with me and my fucking druthers. Tried to understand myself, tell my perspective. Lucky if they notice, much less listen or respect it. Properly check it, check it. Guess that's why it took 40 years to get a diagnosis. Love to say I've been patiently waiting, but my balls itch. How's that for a switch? Because I just know that's not the flow you would expect from a bitch, much less this bitch. No less this bitch. Oh yes, this bitch. This bitch.
Unmute yourself. Give some energy to
That
Miss
was
Amelia.
amazing.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. One of us.
Yes.
One
Great
of
job.
us. One of us. One.
They're screaming one of us. That means Miss Amelia, you have to come back. You cannot be like Gigi and get a life. You have to give up your Mondays and come every week. Miss Amelia, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Appreciate you. I'm glad we were able to get you online. And we can't follow her anywhere. So that means every Monday she's going to have to be here so we can see her. With that being said, Thomas Connor is next. Is Thomas here? I haven't seen him. Wait. He just moved around. Yep, here he is. He is on time. Of course he's going to be here because as of right now, the New York Mets have a better record than the New York Yankees. So of course he's going to be here. Thomas, let the people know where they can find.
Keep bumping your gums. We'll see. It's a marathon. It's not a, it's not a short distance. It's not a short distance race. So we'll see.
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm gonna rub it in for a little bit.
Go ahead, brother. Let the people know where they can find you online and let's hear your fire.
Yes, you can find me at Facebook, Thomas Connor, and TAC7371 at Instagram. The thin red line. The thin red line intertwines with time. We all war with the heart of nature, like the land contending with the sea, skies raging against the sun, parents against daughters and sons. For me, that was the case, but I atoned with both before the end. Remembering when they were dying, they denied it both, willing to draw their white flag. This war for them was done, or maybe they knew they already won. They becoming one with eternity, waving their white flag was their victory. It all depends on your perspective. Their objective was to welcome their last breath, come heaven or hell. Both of their battles were done. No bugle boys needed, just glorious meadows of eternity. We all live on the edge of this red line. I wonder if I could meet my war in the same way. Peace.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give some love to Thomas Connor.
Thank you.
Yes, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
Oh,
There you go.
Talking about the war of life, Thomas.
Thomas Connor, all kinds of good energy, strong energy with him. Make sure that you give this brother a follow, a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and make sure you stick around because come October, I want to see tears in that man's eyes because the Yankees are beating the Mets. Right now, the Mets, though, they got a better record than the Yankees, man. Shout out to Thomas Connor. He can also kick ass, man. When I actually become famous, he's going to be my bodyguard. Next coming up is a person whose name I love to say, Tara Lee. Because I'm from the Bronx, we usually don't pronounce R's at the end. So when I say terror, I say Tara. And I like to say her name, Tara Lee. Get them, Tara, get them. Let them know where they can find you online and your published books. Then let's hear your poetry, sis.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Tara Lee. I'm a poet and editor from Chesapeake, Virginia. I'm on my tablet today because my computer's wonky. But hey, I got a new website, taralee.com. Yes, yes. That was a birthday gift to myself. So you can go there. You can check out my books. You can buy my books from Amazon too. I'll put all of that in the chat for y'all as well. I have 2 new poems for you all. One of them, I did a little play on the word memorial. And thank you to those who are serving, who have served. But I did a little play on memorial. So this is the first one. I'm replaying the highlight reel of my yesterday. The graduation party where I sang in front of friends, no traffic while I drove. The way the Holy Spirit took the worship right from my hands and morphed it into a battle cry. And how I could talk to this one guy without any anxiety or opposition. No, I'm not living in the current moment. I'm building a memorial out of all the good things God has done. A symbol for the work he will do next. That's first one. And I gotta scroll up for the next one. Like my laptop does not want to behave. So I had to go to my tablet, sadly. All right, here is the next one. I am not enough. I think way too much, spend more minutes spewing words from my brain than doing any other work. I eat too much, but that's only because I work out. I am overly sensitive. Even a side glance can rub me the wrong way. Mama says I need to get over it, but I'm just being honest. I spend too much time listening. If I'm focused enough, I can hear a person's heartbeat in their words. I'm always listening to music just to drown out my own thoughts. I talk to God almost every moment of my life because I worry too much, unable to see where he's leading me. I just want a simple answer. And I care too much. Oh no, I care too much. Always lending a helping hand, even if my time is the victim. I am not enough. I'm just too much for this world to handle. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Give some love to Tara Lee.
Yes.
Oh,
There you go. That was dope.
Come like that, Tara Lee.
Thank you, Joey.
Yes.
Always good.
Her website with a real name, taralee.com. Make sure you go and check her out. You can check out her published books over there. That's fantastic. I'm gonna make sure I go check it out because I know that she's had like that farce website name, like your website .wix or whipkicks or whatever it is. But now she's official tissue. That's what's up. Congratulations, Tara Lee. Now coming up is a newcomer to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I hope I say her first name right. Is it Anthea Brown?
That's right.
Awesome, Anthea. Where are you located?
I'm from Toms River, and here is where you can find all of that. And I will definitely put that in the chat in case people can't see it.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook, Instagram. What's that?
Toms River, New Jersey?
Yes.
I know Toms River because I am very much into baseball, as you heard me mentioning before. My kids in Little League. And Toms River, when I was growing up, they no joke with their baseball. They stay going to Pennsylvania Little League World Series. And I know that town is big on it. So shout out to them. Glad we got someone representing. So let the people know once more where they find you online. Dylan, to your poem.
Yes, Instagram, Anthea S. Brown 315, Venmo at Anthea-Brown. I have 2 poems for you all tonight. The first one is Knee of Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam thinks that if they give us just enough, we'll shut up. It's not about needing to do better. I want what you want. I want what you have. Better to me simply equates to a few more crumbs, so Uncle Sam and his bums get paid and laid, and thus the vicious cycle continues. because any wise man knows to work hard for your money, but make your money work harder for you. So, dear Uncle Sam, I'm here to remind you that I'm no longer your property. Your Fugitive Slave Act of 1793 has not been lost on me. Your designation of colored for certain folks is clear divide because last I checked, white is a color. You don't fool me in your attempt to remove yourself from the equation completely, to remind me that you're always above with your knee on my neck. Second one, I can't breathe. Don't expect me to believe that after a cop holds a man down on the ground under his knee for 9 minutes, 29 seconds, screaming, pleading, I can't breathe, that there is a matter of innocence with Chauvin's villainous act, because the fact of the matter is, defense lawyers try to distract, saying Chauvin did what he was trained to do. Therefore, he is not at fault. Chauvin's knee so deep into Floyd's neck that the man could taste the asphalt, and it's all on tape. Time for Derek Chauvin to meet his fate. Thank you kindly, everybody.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Anthea.
Now we're talking, baby.
Boss.
Powerful.
Anthea Brown brought her entourage. He screamed, I had to take my earphones out right there. Anthea Brown, make sure you put your info in the chat so that people can follow you. That's what's up, man. Tom's River. I got a lot of love for them. I'm a big baseball fan. You representing the town that I like. I hope it's nice over there. I've never been over there. Anthea Brown, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. You're gonna have to give up your Monday nights now and come hang out with us. I don't care if you know cool people who do cool things on Monday. We're cooler. Shout out to Boeraku, who's out in Japan checking us out. Love that brother, always giving us energy. Next coming up is a man who I tried really, 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 really hard not to include in another highlight reel. He is making that job difficult. He is making it seem as if he is paying me to promote him, but I am actually not. And that is Elemental. Brother, let them know where they can find you online, and let's hear the fire.
Advocate. Good to see you, man. Another Monday night. Excuse me, to all the folks who have read before me. Hopefully we can get to those on the waiting list. My book Calamity is coming, elemental.com, Storm Gods in the building, Voltron Rising, Red or Green books, vocabulary. It's a lot of things going on, man. So I kind of feel like you, Advocate, though. I hate that I wasn't involved in the mix, but I'm on the whole other side of the world, man. But I hate that I missed the whole New York mashup, man. All right. So this is for all the folks, man. So bear with me. See how high the flags wave on days we honor fallen soldiers who paid the ultimate price for maintaining a balance between power, freedom, and control. Paying homage to these warriors, lost in the sauce of the tallest tales of valiant battlefield stands, standing against all odds, carrying the torch of liberty, to shine a light of majestic civilization, to rid the world of Axis ideologies that sought to plunder impoverished people for precious resources. Today, we salute those brave souls who donned uniforms that were not fit for them, sung and marched by an oppressive tune to shield a country that preferred their submission over the 10% of the Union Army that fought to secure a future that included equality. These are the medals of honor. For every United States Colored Troops Regiment member treated in the worst of ways and the worst of times, keeping supply lines moving on time, every time, Red Ball Express, rumbling behind enemy lines, maximum overdrive, bringing bacon to every table, no waiters, just players in the same game with more restrictions than parental controls. Hellfighters from Harlem, who spent more time in combat than any other unit during the war, sent to assist the French with a warning: do not treat these men as equals, for upon their return they will remain in their place, securely south of said bootstraps we're supposed to pull ourselves up from. This is for the Purple Hearts of Buffalo soldiers who protected Western expansion, building roads and saving lives in a wild frontier, clearing a path and making ways for life to thrive. This is a celebration, an astonishing air show for the airmen of Tuskegee, safeguarding bombers over Italy, wrestling with Germany, flying higher than a dream's dream, raining propeller pockets of pain from places they never thought soldiers of color could go. Flowers for the grave sites of those drafted to defend against communism in the jungles of confusion and never made it home. A world away from American borders, still seen through red, white, and blue lenses. Same adversary, same theater, same fear of making it home in one piece, back to the same streets that dictate they walk on the opposite side of royalty, counting them as the lowest grade citizen there could be, still fervently, proudly representing a country known as hell and home in the same breath, wearing the uniforms of hope that one day, on days like this, we remember those buried in unmarked graves and unknown resting places. Today, as we take moments of silence to remember all the sons and daughters that never returned, for the images and lineage of proud families that never got their parade, their benefits, medals, promotions, or appreciation, never got to see this world they fought and died for. From D-Day to this day, we salute you with the humblest of reverence. May you all rest in peace.
Yes.
That was magnificent.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Highlight reel again. Elemental.
That's
Right. Rest in peace.
Speaking for all of us, bro. Thank you.
Elemental.com. When you spell elemental, you take the T out, you put the number 2 in. You see why this brother gives me trouble every week? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to spread the love, get some different people on the highlight reel, and he comes with fire. He makes my job difficult, man. I'm trying to make everything good and easy for y'all, and he goes around and he acts like this, putting the fire every week, giving me so much fits. How much he paying you, words? Elemental paying you. He's gonna have to start paying me now. I'm joking. Elemental.com. Make sure you check him out. Whitney Salgado's here. I didn't even say hello to her. Hello, Whitney. Whitney's awesome. She still hasn't made a drawing of me, but she did it to people on Thursday. I remember. I'm still offended. When you're that talented and you're doing things for the community and you don't include me. I see you, Paul Conqueso, laughing at me, man. You're supposed to come up later. Maybe I skipped. You're supposed to have my back, trimming the beard, sympathetic and all. Damn it, Paul. All right, let's keep it moving. We're going to the waiting list. I want to thank the community for getting through the guaranteed list before 10 o'clock, which means we got a good 20 minutes to get on the waiting list. Thank y'all so much. So let's get to it with the urban cowboy poet. Brother, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your legend.
Find me online at Urban Cowboy Poetry, Facebook or YouTube. And I don't have a Cash App or PayPal because I don't want money or I don't need money. I want followers, subscriptions, likes. I can't go to publisher and say, I don't have any followers, but I made a killing on tips. I wouldn't be. And the sign up list didn't take 3 minutes. I signed up within 60 seconds. And then wait. So it's back to 1 minute. Okay, Memorial Day did start right after the Civil War, like you said. I have a legend for that. Ray of hope that came out of that awful time. May 12th, 1863 was the day of a battle between.
Wait, I don't mean to stop you. I gotta stop you. It's hard to hear you. Can you move? Can you move the piece a little closer to your mouth? I think it's the earphone we're hearing you from. It was hard to hear. I want to make sure we can hear your poem properly.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, that sounds good. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Here's a legend about the Civil War, I'm saying. May 12th, 1863 was the day of a battle between the blue and the gray, where a young soldier got in the way of a bullet. He got help from a medic. He was hurting like hell. Then off in the distance, they heard a faint yell. The bullet had lodged in the southern bed. It shot planted his seed.
I don't mean to stop you. I don't mean to stop you
Can't hear
again. Yeah, we're having a hard time.
It's the same as always.
Oh my God, there we go. You sound crystal clear now. Okay, go ahead. Take it from there. Go ahead, from the beginning. Go ahead.
I took my earphones out. That's it. Okay. Back to the beginning. Boy, I need water now. I don't have any. Can you hear me really?
I hear you crystal clear, much better than before. Go ahead.
May 12, 1863 was a day of a battle. May 12, 1863 was the day of a battle between the blue and the gray when a young Union soldier got in the way of a bullet and shot through his testicle. He got help from a medic. He was hurting like hell. Then off in the distance, they heard a faint yell. The bullet had lodged in a sweet southern belle, in her womb, if you want to get technical. The shot planted his seed and began to reshape her. This marvel was writ up in a scholarly paper by the attendant field surgeon named L.G. Capers. Life grew from ballistic inception. Tell us who did this, her parents kept urging. She stuck to her story that she was a virgin. This was confirmed by the Confederate surgeon. Immaculate was her conception. The gal met the Yankee whose baby she carried. They soon fell in love, and then they got married. He stayed with his family till the day he was buried. To a miracle that shooting had done. Then were our nation's most god-awful days. Brother killing brother, blues against grays. The Lord had done work in mysterious ways to unite warring tribes with his son. Now, Dr. Capers, a Confederate colonel, reported this case in a medical journal about a Civil War projectile acted paternal. Had his peers and his editors been had? The doc later claimed that he wrote it in fun, but the medical world swore the deed had been done. If you ask me, little grandchild, that son of a gun was your great-grandpappy's great-great-granddad. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for the urban cowboy poet.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank God. Thank you to all the veterans.
Urban Cowboy Poetry on YouTube. Make sure you go look that man up. He is a mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and one day he is going to write a legend about me. Okay, next coming up are a couple of kids who like to play hooky and don't invite me, or they invite me at the last second to make sure I don't come, and that is Ray Jane and Paul Conqueso. You can find Ray Jane at itsrayjane.com, and you can find Paul Conqueso at Paul Conqueso, but don't bother following them because they're going to tell you about their plans at the last second and then have an excuse for you not to be there.
Hold on.
Oh, wow. I'm offended. Listen, Ray took the initiative. Ray saw the bat signal and was like, I'm going to be there, say less. And that was it.
Okay. Ray drove an hour, okay, just because of the possibility of meeting these wonderful people in person. Got there, and then Ray DM'd Mr. Advocate immediately
at 10:06 p.m.
Okay,
y'all were hanging out. Y'all were hanging out before them, but
the party was just getting started. Advocate, okay.
That is true. That is also true.
All right, y'all. Floor is yours.
So me and Ray started this piece together, what, like a year ago, Ray?
Yeah.
We finally pulled it together. So I guess we'll be called the Alchemists. I don't really know. But I'm super honored and excited to spit this piece with Ray because, you know, you're on my Mount Rushmore of New York poets. So, all right. This is called On Trial for Survival. And it's based on a true story of Miss Crystal Kaiser. Listen, ladies and less than gentlemen of the jury, in case you're unsure the cold facts of this case, let me state for the record, my client, Miss Crystal Kaiser, did kill one Randall Volar on June 5th, 2018. I'm not denying that. However, it was in self-defense. Mr. Volar did have a record of abusing, raping, and using multiple young Black girls for trafficking. She met him through back pages, employer turned rapist, indentured laborer, and I've considered the weight of these charges charged against her, and yet see no need she plead anything but not guilty. Shit. As a fellow survivor, if that was me, I'd have followed her black and blue print to the T. Note the similarities between Crystal and Centoya Brown. Is it the mission of this trial to have another wrongly given sentence? With all due respect, Your Honor, you dishonor all things honorable, honoring this unconscionable Constitution's broken bells of non-congruence to black and brown women doing what they must to live.
All right, counselor. As Your Honor, I will speak. You presume this Constitution was written for you, that she is not a perpetual precedent, her blood the ink, consumption the pen. Like her womb does not belong to men, I grow tired of fielding you liberals when you forget. My courtroom is the country, and justice is no friend. We designed the law to immortalize the cotton gin. Of course, extra bodies will fall in. Crystal is the cost of currency. No exclusions based on age, and most certainly none based on race if we hope to win as honor. Defined by the bluest eye, let me clarify this again. In this courtroom, this aggregate of country free comes with a sentence for the naive, but alas, I need some amusement, so I'll allow you to proceed.
Very well then, proceed I will, to plant the seed of abuse perceived in these renewed colonies, because the founding fathers were far worse than absent, see, torturing, binding, femiciding, all women, the indigenous and visitors to these teeming shores yearning to be free. And to be clear, I'm pressed, y'all pressed for first degree, unheard of, see, she could premeditate harm while having body turned colony. A young woman who since 16 had only ever been fetishized, kink, trafficked away from safe, from self. Crystal was held down. Did you not expect her to gain the strength to kill her oppressor? Does this upset you? Had she not emerged from under him, gun in hand, would you rather us have Mr. Villar on trial instead for her violation or death? Is the aim of this case not to punish her for surviving?
Strike that from the record. The counselor is revising, surviving. You mistake this pomp and circumstance for something needing a reason. Punishment is always in season. This is America. Your desire for pity, foolish attempts for pull strings on this court's empty chest might gift you truth that stings, might show you your honor is Lady Justice and my balance can swing.
Yeah, I've heard of law's guillotine.
Yeah, to maintain the place of my king, he is a twin. Not flashy in the courtroom, respecting my rule, he stays hidden, tucked quietly in the hip of bailiff and ringed in my favorite amount of steel, just enough to dig into her wrist so she never forgets her place in all of this, how at any time her body is ours to steal. Counselor, your claims are steeped in assumptions that this land was made for women. Don't you know that I am jealous? Only one female can be judge and others can be sacrificed. Treat this gavel like a knife and no creature black or blossoming is exempt. If you keep it up, I'll hold you in contempt.
Shit. If I didn't stand for her life on this stand, I'd hold myself in contempt. You can have me disbarred. I could give a fuck less.
Careful. Your version of justice might get you in some mess.
This whole system's unkempt, but I digress. Look at you, palms can barely lift that gavel. Put those scales in balance. Justice before you unravel. Your grace holds fate in the gallows of law's contempt. Humor me for a second. Just what do we think might make her worthy of this jury's just mercy? Would they offer her solace had she been slaughtered? Body offered as viral fodder. Would she then stand as America's chosen daughter? Hashtag fallen. Because all too often, our girls only get their roses and vigils and monuments. Now, please, let me state, misanthropes and misogynists of the jury.
Counselor, you're storing my fury.
Implore me, I must refrain. Sex work is not on trial today. There is no shame in this oldest job on earth when it's chosen work, and women can still offer these services and still be raped and still say no. And still have every right to tell anyone such, especially when they've terminated terms to which they once agree. Now, I believe Ms. Kaiser is justified in her direct brand of propriety. Remove that blindfold, Justice. Can't you see anyone deliberately clawing to life in a trigger hair second needs to be shown empathy, if not clemency, at the very least?
Counselor, it seems you have mistaken me for a priest. Clemency? For murder, jail is the penalty. No skin is above the law, for it is the oldest profession of contact sports. So please spare the court. Your ill-researched perceptions of doom, these references to other criminals free on the technicalities that abound with recklessness, but in this court you won't get to pander your elongated messages, truncations of lives that are merely vestiges of this great nation signed by most honorable of white men. You blaspheme this court as if it is your playpen, as if setting here fire would not require vindicating shooting of a white man and then setting him on fire. Shall we allow martial law to rule the land? Now, how will I explain that to the other catchers? I mean, other white men.
And yet we stand catch 22. Slave patrol debating whether his attempt to violently plant his flag warranted her firing back. Doesn't the fact we are trying her for surviving say more about our system than anything that we'd rather hunt witches than those who burn them at stake? I assure you it's far too cruel, your justice, to grind this crucible of a crystal into dust when so few can conjure such magic. Protection spells like enchantment incanted by badass survivalist women is not criminal, it's what the living do. She made alchemy of the threat which threatened to end her too. I see no sin in that. I know you object, but please sustain objections to the fact our women need protecting from a patriarchy oppressing, even their trigger responses to trauma, clocking their bodies, passing laws on them, making heads or tails of handmaid's tales. But blessed be the fruit produced from wounds. Let us exhume America's sacred unmarked graves, gynecological gods of white carving scarlet letters of shame. But what's in a name? Wouldn't any other system of genocide read the same?
You're rhyming in my court as if this were a game, as if your client would have ever been more than a name. It's time you opened your eyes. You can't justify her freedom, no matter how many liberties American justice forsakes.
For goddess's sake, let's never again side with matricide. Look inside. Can any of us judge her action? No reaction. Was Crystal not constituted to by her creator with certain unalienable rights, among those life, liberty, and the pursuit of surviving? Let's not put her on trial today, but rather our system and say, why do? Victim, no warriors who make it through, get to be adjudicated by unfit juries who could never comprehend the choice put before them, fight or flight or freeze or fawn or fire. Crystal Kaiser made her choice and I am behind it. I'm glad she survived so that we could fight for a country we are all one day free in, where all people can choose their continued living over the need or the right to be memorialized.
Yo!
Let's
Wow.
That was no word.
That was fire.
Word. No word.
That needs to be produced somewhere else, bro.
No word.
And Paul con queso. You can follow Ray Jane on our website. It's rayjane.com. Make sure you go check that out. And you can follow Paul con queso on the social medias and go harass them and tell them next time they need to give Advocate Awards 24 hours notice before he plays hooky. Shout out to Andy Markert, who is also part of the Breakfast Club, who didn't call me to go hang out. That's what I'm gonna call y'all now. So shout out to him. He is in the building too. Okay, I don't see Bushra El-Snoussi, who is supposed to be next. So that means we're going to Alexander Goldberg. Let me unmute him. Alexander, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online, and let's hear your poetry.
Find me online. I'm Go15 on Twitter and Golbensky on Instagram. That was a great piece by Ray and Paul. So there were a lot of references to Constitution. Speaking of which, here in America, we have the First Amendment, which guarantees us the right to assemble, to protest, and to perform wherever we choose and however we choose. But in some countries, any unauthorized events and even the single pickets are banned. And in other countries, those rights are not observed or respected in a proper way. So here's my take on it. This is my musical protest. In our state, we want to peacefully assemble. We want to play, but mayor tells us we're unable. People want music, they're upset, they're getting anxious. So as a one-man band, I'm protesting against it. Conditions that they gave us simply aren't fair. I came to play without a single person there. They told me I can play, but who's to make that call? I came to give my concert by the city hall. They took away from me the last thing that I had. They took my livelihood, my home, my only bread. No, this can be the ending of my story. No, I can turn around, duck down, or say I'm sorry. They pulled the plug on me. I don't know why that happened. I know that music always made the people happy. I know the people always had appreciation for what we did, but not the mayor, I should mention. 200 people came to protest and support us. There were police and guards, but they did not approach us. They did not bother us or tell us not to play. This is our right. We need this freedom every day. The greatest violinist did it the right way. He went to Subway so that people heard him play. He wasn't recognized by anyone that day, but he performed like street musician anyway. It wasn't just for fun. To make the story short, let's all support musicians all over the world. They have no choice. They have to play out on the street. It is the only way for them to make ends meet. The name of violinist is Joshua Bell. Because of politicians, we're not doing well. Before we let them tear our culture up like sharks, let there be music in our gardens, streets, and parks. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for the GOAT.
Every music.
The Goldberg, Alexander Goldberg. Make sure you give him a follow. A mainstay here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Moving on to another mainstay who in the past couple of months published his book, that is Norm Mathematics, who's also a fencer. All right, you need to learn about your people in the community. They be doing some interesting things. I didn't forget that. Go ahead, Norm. Let the people know where they can follow you, get your book, and then let's hear your poetry.
What's happening, advocate of words? Happy Memorial Day. This is a wonderful place to be on any Monday night. This piece right here, it's called My Memorial Day. And this is for all of the teachers. A day on the annual calendar. A day to remember and honor warriors fallen in the wars for liberty, for freedom from the need for defense, in defense of freedom to think freely. Warriors on the front line, willing to go to battle against ignorance every day, willing to risk disequilibrium, knowing the payoff is something new, something hard earned and unthought of before. An unexpected return on the investment of thinking and thinking about that thinking. My students learn that thinking is something, like charging up the barrier-laden, fear-bidden mountain of unknowns and curious things, risking the derision of peers, like geeky and nerd are bad things to be. My students, like warriors, against their own status quo, always challenge to think outside the cocoa, because you know he's going to ask you why you think that thought. I would go into the battle against ignorance and bullying with any cohort of students that felt the persistent urgency to make mistakes we can all learn from faster. Take the chance on knowing a piece of correct. Answers don't matter. But the thinking behind the question, the want to know, este querer saber, memorial days that create hope and sustain my faith. I am honored to be a teacher in your class. Peace.
Give it up.
Amazing.
North,
So
go.
amazing.
Yes,
So
teacher.
dope.
Yeah, brother.
So dope.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Norm Mathematics. Make sure you give him a follow. Pick up his book, Black Calculus. Like I say, he's a teacher and a fencer too. Awesome, awesome. We have a wonderful community here. If you guys are not familiar with each other, start to get familiar, including with this next badass poet who's coming up. Glad we got her, Jane Spoken Word. Jane, let the people know how they can follow you, then let's hear your poetry.
Peace, everybody. Tonight has been amazing. You can follow me on IG. I'm Jane Spoken Word. And you come to my website, janespokenword.com. My piece is a little different for today, but I mean it from the heart. Today's Memorial Day honors veterans of all wars, but its origins are in America's uncivil core. Many American towns claim the birthplace of Memorial Day, but this is what historians and truth-sayers have to say. In 1866, women laid flowers on soldiers' unknown graves. But in 1865, the Civil War in American memory was started by freed slaves. Along with white missionaries at a former planetary racetrack, Confederates held captured Union soldiers in concentration camps. Many died and were buried in unmarked mass graves. Those who honored them first were freed Black slaves. They reorganized the grave into neatly dressed rows with a tall white fence placed all around, where an archway, Martyrs of the Race Course, was printed in bold. About 10,000 people gathered that day to pay tribute to the fallen. Newly freed slaves and colored troops honored those who fought for freedom. 3,000 Black children holding roses walked the track, followed by adults from 8 societies walking in their path. Pastor delivered service, sermons, and spirituals were sung. It was a day of joy and remembrance for every single one. A procession of friends and mourners like never seen before. The gravesite became a colored sea of flowers, gifting the breeze with the sweet scent of power. Tears of joy and love were shed as they gave birth to America's Memorial Day. But this is not a story white historians ever wanted to say. Peace.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for
Jane, I fucking bow down to you, queen. I bow down to you.
Amazing.
You are a
Oh,
fucking
Jane.
queen and a
Amazing.
goddess. I fucking love you. Amazing.
Jane, they love you. Make sure you go check out Jane's Spoken Word. See, I mentioned it earlier, and then the community comes through and builds upon it. I love y'all. Jane's Spoken Word. Is she not a badass poet? I told you. I would not want to run into her in a dark alleyway on a bad day. So we have gotten through everyone, and we have gotten to the last person on our waiting list, and that is GK Jairam. This will be his second time getting to rock out with us. GK, let the people know where they can find you online. Then let's hear your poetry.
I'm nowhere in social media. I just exist. So here it is. A letter to our children. Nostalgia. It seems like yesterday you were born, a boy and a girl, an ideal family, people said, and we agreed for more reasons than they could know. She and I had traveled, each alone before we met, through the vale of tears, across the bridge of sighs, to what we hoped for was the promised land. In a cliche-ridden universe, where deep sadness came in words of shallow truisms, she and I knew, no, hoped fervently, desperately, as we married, that there would be light at the end of the tunnel, but we had to spark it, spawn it, and share it. We flipped the switch. In the lighted land we entered, you came. You were our twin lights, a year between you, lighting up our lives and giving us the gift of caring for you instead of caring for ourselves. We had no experience, no wisdom to be parents. We just had love to spare. And you grew up to be just fine. A little complex, a tad independent, a lot intense, a lot intelligent. We hope that's because of us. We fear it may be in spite of us. The truth may be it had nothing to do with us. We were the spaceship you boarded and you got off on your planets and went your ways. The ship has no right to sentiment. Regrets. Now you are as old as we were when you were born. The years have gone by and the home movies in the theater of my mind rest in the attic. Once in a while, I see the scenes of you and us flash by as though they happened to someone else. In your handsome and beautiful youth, I see in you. In your passion and logic, I see in you. I'm proud. Yet I cannot recognize the little bundles of joy we carried upstairs as you each pretended to be asleep. From the agile, analytical minds I admire in you, I cannot hear the questions you asked all the time and the answers we gave. I do not make up anymore the interminable stories that lulled you to sleep night after night. We missed those chores, those sweet burdens. Our lives suffused by care for you were full. There was purpose, meaning in the changing of diapers. Years have gone by, and now the scenes are like glimpses through the windows of a running train. Too fleeting, too ephemeral. Yet we cling to those images because, might as well admit it, then you needed us, now you don't. Then we were the air you breathed, the water you drank. Now we are the liqueur for an occasional festive mood. Hope and change, my mother on the screen. What's this I hear? Look who is talking. When you were my baby, I prayed to the goddess never to let you grow up, and yet you left me as soon as you could for friends, for books, for excitement of every kind. Oh, I know, my baby, how it hurts to have the ones you love leave the nest and fly away. And when they return, they are bigger than you, stronger than you, and they don't need you. But Mama, I wanted to come back. I came back. See, my smart son, love binds, constricts, suffocates. You fled the golden prison of love and returned to a home where one cares voluntarily. Love eats its target. Care holds hands and sits gently by the side. Is it possible, Mother, to share what love feels like, or rejection, or simple compassion? Can we aspire to understand? To understand, my dear, is for the angels. To accept is enough for the humans. Maybe it suffices to share our care and let you be.
Unmute yourself.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
So prolific.
That
What an amazing way to end the night.
man.
What an amazing
That was
look
nice way
at
to end the night, G.
Wow.
Amazing.
Dope piece.
GK Jairam. I'm loving the poem. I'm also hating it because my kid is 11 and I'm starting to get to that age with him, man. He's starting to be on his own. No, Dad, leave me alone, Dad. But you're my kid. Love GK Jairam. Can't find him on social media. You're just gonna have to come back here next Monday. So I want to thank the community for being on time with their poems. We got to everyone on the waiting list, everyone who signed up and was able to show up. Some people weren't able to come, like Vale and the Withdrawn. So shout out to them. They signed up, weren't able to come through today. Make sure you're following New Eurekan Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube so that you can see this show and our other past shows. Also, make sure you will follow me, Advocate of Words. When you look up words, that's with a Z at the end. On YouTube, you can see more of the highlight reels. So with that being said, we are going to now close it out. And closing it out for us with the Good Night Sweet Poet poem is going to be Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the floor is yours, brother.
Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what someone else has written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Algarín into your home. This has been the Monday night online open mic presented by the New Eurekans Poet Cafe, hosted by Advocate of Words. On behalf of the community tonight, I, Mr. Speaker, would like to say, good night, sweet poet.